Hi everyone, welcome to the first in a series of little interviews we're going to do with Lion legend Dafydd James. Dafydd, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Thanks for the introduction there, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I'm well. Big year this year, obviously, for a couple of reasons. British and Irish Lions head back down to Australia. And of course, you were an integral part of that 2001 tour. So we want to talk about that a little bit. But the other big news is, of course, that you're releasing your autobiography in September time.
Yeah, it's a big year for a number of reasons, really. It was 24 years ago. How time goes very, very fast, really. So you look back, funny enough, I'm looking at my jerseys, just being, I haven't really put it up. Got a bit of imposter syndrome going on, which I'm trying to deal with internally. But it's 24 years, so it's a big summer. We've had a lot of rugby throughout the year. And looking forward to watching the Lions, really. I think they'll have a landslide victory, my personal thoughts on it. And I think, looking at Australia, haven't been really up to the mark, really, to compete against four of the best home nations, or three, arguably with two add-ons with Wales. But look, and as well as that, come September, as you touched upon there, I'll be releasing a book called Offloading.
Well, we're certainly going to get into the Lions a bit more, and we're gonna talk about your book a bit more. But I want to take you back to the beginning, really, and talk about Wales and your career with Wales. Can I just point out, by the way, I don't know where the imposter syndrome comes from, because it's costing us 90 quid to look like a lion this year, the price of the shirts. But there we are. Let's get back to Wales. So obviously. Huge amount of caps for Wales, huge amount of tries for Wales in a team that was the sort of golden generation. Tell me about that first cap. Tell me about that first game. How did you find out about it? How did you feel?
I can remember it very vaguely. Really, I was in Bridgend Rugby Club at the time. They were first class side, steeped in tradition. Bridgend, load of British and Irish Lions and Welsh internationals come from there. And I think it was we were in the bar area just having a bit of lunch, and there was the announcement of the team to Australia. Australia, this is 1996 now, so bear with me. So we were having a little bit of lunch, and it was a matter of who's going to get on the trip. How do you know? We didn't have the mobile phones then. It was more the landlines and pigeons, really. So it was a matter of, okay, so someone said, right, hang on, I think the team announcement's 12 o'clock or whatever it was. And they put on the television and they went to CFAX, which for the younger generation won't have a clue what that is. But it was like a teletext CFAX sort of thing where like
it was the internet on the telly, wasn't it, basically?
Yeah, I've had to describe it. So it came up on there, and it said, all right, click on the sport bit, and then the rugby union, Wales, so on, so and so forth, and then team announcement, and it would come up, and lo and behold, that was my name was on there. And it was elevation very, very quickly, actually, because the year before I was playing third division rugby for my local club called Kempigill, and so it was the analogy was from Blackwood to Ballymore in the space of a year, really. And I was on the trip. I went to Australia. It was a fantastic experience, really. It was one of the last ever tours which were amateur, if you like. Yes, there was a little bit of boot money, I suppose, but it was amateur. But the game had turned, or was turning, professional at that particular time, and it was the time when you go away for 6-7 weeks. And what a place to go. And young lad, 20 years of age, and getting selected to go. And it was just a dream come true, really. And I think, I was gone there. Same thing. It's like history repeating itself over and over again. I was told, oh, you're just going to be, go there and you just experience, you'll be carrying the bags. And turned up, I think we played 10 games, and I think I played 8 out of the 10 games. And I was fortunate enough to get my cap.
I mean, it was written in the stars, really, wasn't it? You'd played age group rugby, you'd played Wales A, you played sevens, so it was almost inevitable that you'd get a cap at some point, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, during my school time I was in a famous rugby school called Heelgam Grammar, is Bridgend Grammar it was at the time, Bryn Teg comprehensive school, and it's known for its rugby, and I wasn't really in the first at that stage. I did break in occasionally, and so I was one of the, what do you call, a late developer actually, because I didn't get in the school system. I left school at 16, went to work. I had to go to work. Got told that that's your route, that's where you're going, and then I just started enjoying my rugby really, and as I was enjoying it, I was playing for the local team, Keffigill Canelli Youth it was called, and got selected for a youth trial, and the rest they say is history really. It was right place, right time, and then the hard work had to start really, to tone myself up and get myself into top condition really. So that's how it went, and then it was Welsh Youth, was under 21s, because it was not 20s then, it was under 21s. It was Wales students, so I went to university in the end, and sevens, and just when I look back now, it's like, wow, some fantastic things.
Yeah. I remember a certain day at Wembley when you caused me to have a huge hangover. That was a big old day against England, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1999. That was, the irony was, because the stadium was being built, the Principality Millennium, as I still call it, because that's what its original name was. But it was, the old Cardiff Arms Park, which I had the pleasure of playing in actually in '96 against Australia, Campese, and James Small, who's no longer with us, playing against them guys in the old stadium. But yeah, the stadium was knocked down to renovate to create this magnificent centrepiece within Cardiff city centre, we travelled. We were playing our home games in Wembley, which the irony was with that, in 1999, it was the last ever Five Nations game and the last ever game in Wembley and the last game of the Five Nations tournament, and we came away with the spoils and spoiled the party for England, I think.
Didn't you just? Talk to me about walking out in that cauldron as a Welshman. Even as an Englishman, I'll acknowledge that the Arms Park or Principality, whatever you want to call it, I've been fortunate to have gone a couple of times, and it's almost feral, the atmosphere there. Talk to me about it as a player when you walk out and start singing the anthem.
It's something to behold. It is. It's a very unique experience, and it's something you cannot mimic anywhere else ever again. In any walk of life, it's something you dream of, something you feel. It just resonates with you, and it's like the icing on the cake when you've reached the pinnacle, you reach a stage, you've got your jersey, you're going out, and then this cacophony of sounds and the atmosphere, and it is feral, and it's a wonderful feeling where you goosebumps, you just walk out, you can see a few people, and then it's just this cacophony of sound just erupts around you, and it's reverberating around your face and your head, and then all of a sudden it goes deathly silent, and then you sing the anthem, and we're a very vocal nation, the Welsh, and the anthem is arguably one of the better ones around, and it's what we do. It's what we do. Is we're very passionate about the country and passionate about the anthem.
Obviously, offloading's quite a bit about your career, but also a little bit about the troubles and challenges that you've faced. When you're running out 60,000-70,000 people all screaming for Wales, does that elevate you, or does that scare the hell out of you?
It's what I lived for, really, and I think that's some of the challenges I face now, because you can't ever do it again. That time's gone. That chapter is closed, so to speak, and it's, for me, the bigger the game, the more I drew energy from. If it was one man and his dog watching the game, it's hard to motivate yourself, whereas 80,000 people, several million watching on the television or whatever, wow, This is what I play for. This is what I train for. This is it. And for me, yes, you can get swallowed up in the crowd, and some players do. And you see good club players, all of a sudden they get elevated to that level, and woof, they can't handle the pressure. Whereas for me, I used to want to draw off that. That's what made me tick. That's what my buzz was. That was the excitement, and that was certainly, I just enjoyed it really. And for me to say that is very strange, but it was, is something I did. I was so immersed in it. I worked hard, I trained hard, I ticked every box. I've been meticulous in my approach. This is where you go. Yes, things don't always go to plan. Yes, but there's no greater feeling than putting on your own shirt, going out in that crowd, or anywhere else in the world, I have to say, and the atmosphere and the drive and the buzz, and it's phenomenal.
I have to say, even the dog couldn't be asked to come and watch me play, so I only ever had the one man. So we fast forward 48 tests. You were the first to 25 tries in the Heineken Cup. You'd had a stellar career, and then I guess it's your last game. Did you know it was going to be your last game for Wales?
No, not really. My last game for Wales was in the World Cup, actually, 2007. It was against Japan. I think I had 2 tries. It was a nice little send-off, wasn't it? I was on the bench and against the Fiji, where we got knocked out in the quarterfinal, and that prep. Oh, Craig, that's another story. But I didn't. I always thought I'd come back, and I thought and it was prior to my neck injury, and that was it really. It was I would have loved to have got to 50 caps and more, possibly. I don't know. It's easy to say in hindsight, but this day and age, perhaps we would have easily made 50. I don't know, but it is what it is. But I was lucky, I was blessed, and it's been a good journey, and it's gone in a heartbeat, really.
Daf, thank you. The next episode we're gonna dig into the Lions a little bit and talk about becoming a Lion and how you found out and how you felt. But that's the first episode done and dusted, out of the way. Next episode of Offloading will be coming to you soon. But for now, thanks, Daf.
Thank you.